Hey, my name is Iasmina and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do a more casual kind of video, I guess a more chatty video, and just talk to you guys about something that I did recently, something that I have achieved recently, and just talk about that for a little bit. I have my coffee here, so let's just get into it. So like I said, the point of this channel, or this new rebrand of the channel, is to document my journey to publication and all of the writing ups and downs that there are, because there's a lot of them. This one isn't up, so I just want to talk about that with you guys. I finished another book. I actually made a video when I finished my first book, Hunting Vienna, which was about, like 4 years ago now. It's still up on my channel. I'll put it up here in the symbols and I'll link it down below in the description if you want to see that. But basically this is that, but with another book. So I'm just gonna tell you about the book that I've just finished and how that experience was like. So I've got two folders here with the book printed. And I finished my last book, or my first book. I printed it out and it was quite a big book. It was like 400 something pages. I printed that out and then I read it on paper and it helped, but I never actually did anything with the actual paper itself. Like, I never edited on paper. It was kind of a big waste of paper, honestly. And so I actually shredded that and like threw it away, unfortunately. But this time I really wanted to utilize the fact that I've printed all of this paper and actually, in the process of editing, actually making corrections on it and writing all of the notes and all of the revision notes and, you know, what I want different, what I want just changed, all of that. Actually write it down on paper, which I have actually started doing, and I'll show you that a little bit. But I won't talk about like the editing process here, even though I've already started editing this. I'll just talk about, you know, writing the book and how that was like. So I printed it out in 2 binders because the printing shop that I went to only had like high quality paper, like really kind of thick paper. So it ended up like a bigger stack than I wanted, and so I combined it into 2 just to make it easier for me to go through it and edit. I also printed it out on single-sided, so as you can see, actually I don't know if you can see, that side is printed and this is blank. I did that because I thought I was gonna have a lot of notes for like each page, and I wanted to sort of write the notes like I did here in the beginning. However, as I went through it and I edited it a bit already, I realized I didn't make that many notes like on each individual page. I definitely made a lot of notes on like end of scenes or end of chapters, but not on each individual page. And so I think next time when I'm going to print another manuscript, I'll just print it double-sided and make corrections on the actual pages, and then if I feel like writing more notes, I'll just insert like blank pages here and there where I need them. I think that would save a lot of money and paper. So I finished this book on the last day of April. I just realized I wrote May instead of April. Anyway, it is the last day of April because it was during Camp NaNoWriMo that I finished this book, but it actually says 30th 05 instead of 04. Because I'm an idiot, apparently, and I don't know dates. It is called The Sound of Crooked Hearts. I'm quite fond of that title. For some reason, I really, really love that title. So yes, it is called The Sound of Crooked Hearts. It is a YA contemporary novel, and the first draft finished at 71,300 words. That's about 260 pages. So I'll tell you about the process of writing this. My initial plan was to finish it during NaNoWriMo 2017, so this last November. I had actually planned on continuing writing my fantasy book during this NaNoWriMo, but again, because that's such a complex world, I just felt like it needed a bit more time. I needed to give it a bit more planning, where I felt like, you know, this is the story that I need to tell. And so I thought, okay, this NaNoWriMo, I'm gonna start something completely new, and I had this idea in my head for quite a while. I'm gonna make a whole video on how you come up with book ideas. Basically, there's like snippets here and there, you know, it's like, this concept seems cool. Oh, this character might be cool. Oh, this time period is cool. You know, you kind of get bits and pieces of cool ideas from all over the place, and you just kind of write them down as you get them, and eventually sort of look at them and see how you can combine all of these random ideas into one cohesive story. And so that's kind of what I did. And I actually planned this entire book using the beat sheet method, which I have explained in one of my previous videos. I'll link it down below as well in case you're interested. But I've used that beat sheet method and planned this entire story out in one day. It's kind of super exciting to me because I had never been able to do that before, but it just felt so natural to me. It came really naturally. Using the beat sheet method helped to structure it as well, and I just kind of knew what I wanted to happen. And so I planned it all out in one day, and then as soon as NaNoWriMo started writing it. But as NaNoWriMo goes, you know, the first week you're like super strong and you write all of the words, and then second week you don't write any of the words anymore. NaNoWriMo 2017 was like 25k words maybe, is what I wrote. But then I started writing again in February a little bit, just continuing on this project. But then March and April I wrote so much. April was Canon NaNoWriMo, so it's like same kind of thing as the original NaNoWriMo, but you can sort of make your own goal. You know, you don't have to write like 50,000 words, you can just write however many words you want. But I think during March I had gotten to maybe around 35, maybe 40. I don't think I actually reached 40 during March, but I honestly don't remember. But it was around that word count, and then I knew that during Camp NaNoWriMo, so during the entirety of April, I will really sit down and just write and finish this damn book. And I'm pleased to say that I did. I finished it on the very last day of April, on the very last day of Camp NaNoWriMo, but I finished it. And initially I had set myself a goal of 60,000 words. I thought, you know, I can write the basics of the story, the most important scenes, you know, the most important plot points in 60,000 words, and then obviously in revision I can deepen the story and I can add more and stuff. But yeah, that goal came and went because I was not done with the story and it still needed more. And then, like I said, it eventually ended up to 71,300 words, so a bit over 10k more than I thought it would need. But I'm happy that I wrote those extra words because I'm really in love with the story. And honestly, I feel like for a first draft, at least in comparison to my trash fire that was the first draft of Hunting Vienna, this is actually, like, readable. It needs a lot of work, don't get me wrong, but I'm actually really pleased with it as a first draft. Shall I tell you what it's about? I always feel weird when I have to explain my books to people, especially when they're like, you know, first drafts or the first few drafts, because to me there's so much more than what the premise makes them out to be, I guess. But the basic premise of The Sound of Crooked Hearts is about a 17-year-old girl called Andy who lives and breathes music. And the only thing she wants to do, the only thing she can do, or the only thing she can be is a musician. She wants to be a world-class musician. She wants to be a really famous guitar player. And she has this great band with her childhood best friend. And they are working really, really hard to get into a battle of the bands that will grant her a scholarship to her dream college that focuses on music and that will help her achieve that dream of hers. However, things get a little bit messy, she makes some mistakes, everyone else makes some mistakes, and she is kicked out of that band. And then she has to figure out what to do next. But that's all I'll tell you about the premise, but the book is about a lot more than that. It's about friendship, it's about young love, it's about the passion of music, and it's about diversity and finding new friends. It's about learning to trust other people with your most prized possession, which in Andy's case is her music and her songs. It's about family and immigration and Romanian culture. I finally decided to put a little bit of myself and my culture inside one of my books, because this is something I've actually always wanted to do, but for some reason I was a little bit afraid of, or I was, I guess, unsure of how to handle it. But I finally found a way to, like, put in that, and I think it works really well. I'm not gonna tell you how it's done, but it has a really cool aspect of Romanian culture in it, and I'm a little bit in love with that aspect. So I'm really happy about that. I love the characters in this book. I love the characters in all of my books. Characters to me are the meat of the story. If I'm not in love with the characters that I write about, I can't write the story, and I love these characters so much. I have, again, quite a big cast of characters. I really love writing friendships, and I love writing groups of people. I love writing all dynamics between characters that are really close to each other and who learn to be close to each other. And I just, that's so much fun to me. I guess I should mention, in case it's not obvious, that this story is kind of loosely inspired by my own love of music and by my own experiences when I was around my character's age. I had a band when I was around that age. I played music. I played the guitar. I thought that I wanted to be a musician, and that was the only thing that I wanted to do. It's actually really funny to write about some things that I've personally experienced, but through the eyes of someone completely different, and in a completely different situation and everything, but it's kind of, obviously, related to something I've done. So as I mentioned, I already started editing it. I've actually already finished this first half, but it's all marked up, and I have notes on most of the blank pages and definitely on the end of the chapters. Because I've already figured out a lot of things that I want to change. But I won't really get into editing because there's so much to say about that. I'll definitely make a separate video on how I've edited this specific book once I've finished. But really today I just wanted to share the fact that I finished another book and that it's an awesome feeling to have a complete first draft and to print it out and to, sort of, this is my book, this is another book that I have, and it's a thing. And I'm excited to work on it some more, and I'm excited to maybe one day, have it as a finished product and for you to read it. I'm very excited. I was shocked when I finished my first one. It took me freaking 3 years to finish the first draft. This took me, not considering the months that I didn't write, this took me 2.5 months, I guess, 3 months to finish this first draft. So 3 years versus 3 months, that's a huge difference. And so I'm hoping that the rest of the process, the editing process and the revision process, will also go down a lot quicker. And I can have a good draft very soon. It's crazy how accelerated the process gets once you've written that first book and once you've learned all the things you shouldn't do and how you should actually tell a story. It's quite awesome, and I'm very pleased with it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll promise I'll come back next week with something that is a little bit more educational or entertaining. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye!